Mr. Trump on the campaign trail. I think he's putting it out pretty good myself. Anyway, let's talk to John Carney, Breitbart economics and finance senator, co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, and the great Charlie Gasparino, Fox Business senior correspondent and author of Go Woke, Go Broke, the inside story of the radicalization of corporate America. Thanks to both of you. Before we get to the lies video and sex tapes, but Charlie Gasparino, your point, Trump is now saying, forget, we're going to restore the SALT tax.
State and local tax deduction.
State and local tax deduction, really high in these blue states. But I was thinking about this, and Art Laffer triggered this. I don't know whether it's perfect policy or not, but it does effectively lower the marginal tax rate. Yes, for the high end, but also for middle-class people, because property taxes are in there, as well as state and local income taxes.
Remember,
so you got a good point.
If you, and I wrote about this, and I did a lot of research on this because I know a lot of people in the business community who have been making the case to Trump forever, even when back then told him not to do it. He listened to people like you and did it.
Yes.
Right?
I want to abolish it altogether.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe not in an election.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but what these local business people said is like, listen, this affects homeowners in New York, in Long Island, in Westchester, that aren't like really rich.
Right.
They get screwed on this thing. And I'll tell you, he is turning Westchester County, but particularly Long Island, MAGA. There was no red wave, right? Republicans basically held down to the
tricky.
But guess where there was a red wave? New York City suburbs. This is a play for those voters, and I think I think it's good politics. Whether it's good economics, I'll leave it to.
Well, no, because it does lower the effective tax rate. There's no question about that, and people are pretty tax suppressed around here. But you've got 3, 4, 5 congressional seats in New York, which will be essential to keeping the majority. You've also got several congressional seats in California that would be affected by this. You know, that was a big. GOP picked up seats in California, in Congress, in California.
It is interesting when you start playing the numbers game here. It works. Trump is not going to win New York. He's not going to win California. But think about it. If he wins the election and they keep the House and they get the Senate, man, that's
it's huge.
I also know that Donald Trump really wants to win the popular vote. So even if he's not going to win New York, if he gets more votes in California and more votes in New York, those count, right? He might not get electoral college votes, but he doesn't want them to say, well, no, you didn't really win because you didn't win the popular vote. He wants to win as many votes all across America, everywhere there is. And so I think he's going for it. Look, if you drive around Westchester County, New York, Fairfield County, Connecticut, you see a lot of Trump signs and Trump flags that you didn't see 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago. It is definitely making an impact in places where it didn't before.
Kamala Harris attempts to lie her way into the presidency. This is the Business Digest, which he writes every day, which is a tremendous product. It's like there she goes again. Same lies, John. Give us a little hint.
Yeah, so she told the same lies twice, 2 lies twice in the same day. In her big speech in Pittsburgh, she claimed that Goldman Sachs had said there will be a recession if Donald Trump becomes president. Goldman Sachs didn't say anything like that. They said because of the restriction on immigration, there'll be slightly lower growth. That's it. But
and they're always wrong anyway.
They're going to be wrong on that.
They are the worst Keynesian.
Yes.
I mean, Jan, whatever. Him and David Solomon. These guys are such. It's like when they start quoting Mark Zandi.
Well, Solomon tried to downplay it.
Mark Zandi's out there running around saying, "Oh, it's going to be." I mean, he's the head of economist for Moody's.
S&P or Moody's or one of them.
Guess who missed the financial crisis? Guess who missed every single thing? It's him.
The reason I love this piece is because the prediction of a V-shaped recovery by Larry Kudlow, this is during the pandemic, turned out to be right. I got one right once in a row.
Well, that's the other.
She won't give me credit for it.
Right. The other lie she's going around telling is that the economy had crashed and had not recovered when they came into office. That was a lie that got Joe Biden into office. That's why she's telling it, by the way, because it worked for them in 2020.
You also got Dow 30,000. By the way, you also got Dow 30,000 right.
Yes, it took a while. Hassett and I and Jim Glassman, thank you for reminding me. It just took a little longer.
She loves
10
these
years longer
lies so much that she told them in her speech.
Yeah.
And then she told them again in her interview with MSNBC.
Well,
and she keeps telling the same lies. And frankly, she gets away scot-free because the so-called fact checkers that are out there don't check her.
But can I ask you, just hang on a second. Yeah. Joe Biden told the same lies. He inherited a mess when, as you point out in your piece, the economy was booming in the second half of the pandemic year 2020 and early 21, and there was no inflation. But my thought here is, you know what? Voters don't like politicians that lie. And I know MSNBC doesn't fact check this stuff. Although I will say this about Rule, whatever. She's not my favorite person, but she did give Kamala kind of a semi-hard time in the interview. But the point I'm making is so many fact checkers have checked those lies that voters realize it, and it shows a weakness of character with respect to Biden and now Kamala.
It does. And the thing is, these lies are blatant and obvious. One of the things she said is that before the pandemic, she said manufacturing jobs were down 200,000. Right. They were up 414,000. Right. It is ridiculous for her to make that claim. And CNN and the Washington Post actually did call her out on that.
The real question is whether Trump is making an effective case on her lies. I'm mixed on this, I have to admit. I don't know. When he went before the NABJ and he started talking about whether she's black or Indian or whatever, I know what he was trying to say. He was trying to say this is an inauthentic person. This is a person that is whatever she wants. She's no one. She has no policies. He didn't really say that. Now, the real question is, and it's the same thing with this whole notion of eating dogs and cats. And he was trying to say, when you have unfettered immigration, you're going to have huge problems. Now, did those two things, even though he said it in such a crude way, did they focus the public on her inauthenticity, on her policy problems, or did it focus away? And I don't know. It seems like we are having a debate about her inauthenticity. Mm-hmm. It does seem like we are having a debate about immigration and whether it's too much culturally for the population to handle. So maybe in his crude way, he's onto something.
Yeah, he might be. He's a pretty clever guy.
Yeah,
pretty
he
good
understands
negotiator.
marketing. Yeah.
Next time you're on, tariffs are the open door to free trade.
They are.
This is a Trumpian thought. People don't like. I understand it perfectly well.
They replace a chip in your brain now?
Tariff?
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
I know.
I'll send him the Breitbart Business Digest where I explain exactly how we're going to open the world to trade with tariffs.
Have you convinced Steve Forbes about this?
Charlie had dinner with Joe Biden last night at Sistina's.
2 nights ago. 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago at Sistina's, which is a fine Italian restaurant. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to tell you.
John Carney, I got to get out.
He did not fall asleep in his spaghetti.
and Charlie Gasparino. Switching gears very quickly.